Welcome back, OSLP family. Welcome. You are listening to Our Sleeve Life podcast, and this is Kelly.
This is Mo.
And we have another nutritionist in the studio today.
What?
I mean, she's on Zoom, but I'm just counting it in the studio.
Yeah, it's in the studio, damn it.
Yes. And we are super excited because Miss Helen, she had bariatric surgery.
Yeah, she's one of us.
Yes. So not only is she a nutritionist, but she is a bariatric patient also.
Yeah.
So let's introduce Miss Helen onto the pod.
Hi, everybody.
Yay.
Hey.
Yes, of course. Thank you for being on here. We're super excited to hear your story and kind of delve deeper into those questions that we have about nutrition.
Oh, yeah. I'm so curious in like where your journey started and then how did you become a nutritionist?
Yes.
So it kind of flipped.
Oh.
I have been a registered dietitian for over 25 years.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And I had VSG 9 years ago.
Okay.
So lived my life, had a really fun career as a dietitian, did some things that dietitians never did before. I was the first dietitian at a major New York City restaurant.
Oh, nice.
I've been the nutritionist on 8 James Beard Award-winning cookbooks.
Ooh.
It was really, it's been fun.
That is so exciting.
It was fun. I did a lot of stuff and then
Yeah.
raised my family.
Okay.
Kind of put myself lower on the totem pole like a lot of us did.
Yes.
Gained a lot of weight
Okay.
and tried to take it off myself like most of us did.
Mhm.
Realized that I needed help. So I had VSG 9 years ago. Best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And, went along the journey. But, after surgery, I realized that as somebody who knows a lot, I still didn't know a lot about post-op care. And we just, at least where I'm on the East Coast, we're not getting the proper support.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We feel
the
that.
same over here on the West Coast. Yeah.
I feel like everybody kind of feels that same way. Like there's not enough information out there. And we hear it from all of our followers that there's just not a whole lot of information out there of like, that you've got that list that you get when you do your dietitian or nutrition. Yeah. Like the yes foods of the no foods. But I mean, nobody ever really dives deeper into it.
No.
You just like, and I feel like I felt a little lost on like, what should I be eating?
Yeah.
Like I still some days are like, I don't have any idea what I'm doing. Like, so it's really.
I agree with you. I think nobody really explains it properly.
Yeah.
And the reason that I started this practice, and I actually started a virtual practice before COVID, before people knew what virtual practices were.
Right.
Because I wanted to reach people across the country.
Oh, cool.
As a coach, and living it. So, I started this business to be the person I wish I had, because I think we all could have used a coach.
Yes.
Someone to kind of teach you the ropes instead of getting that, like you said, the piece of paper that said, okay, 60 to 70 grams of protein, 64 ounces of water, go.
Yeah. All right, go, break. And then you're like, what?
Yeah.
How do I do this? I mean, and you do all of the classes before, but there's just not enough support, whether, of any degree after.
Yeah, I didn't even have a class.
Yeah, she didn't.
I didn't
You
even
didn't have a class before?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like, I think it was like an on.
Companies make it mandated. So you have to have a certain number of it. Did you have your surgery in this country?
Yeah. I had it in Oregon.
Yeah,
so with Dr. Patterson, like we did a round of a day where I had to go through like 4 different people in one day. And I did meet a nutritionist one time and that was it during that whole process. And then they gave us like the sheets and stuff, like this is what you're going to be eating. This is what you don't eat. And then like, here's your warning signs, like when to call me situations. And yeah, it was like,
they set you free?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And I just did my follow-up appointments, but there was no follow-up appointments with a nutritionist. It was just with Dr. Patterson.
Yeah.
So I get my blood work and then I would meet her.
Yeah.
So
they don't set you up to succeed. And that's why we have such a strong community, our bariatric community.
Yes.
And the registered dietitians, I've never met them in person, but we know each other and we support each other. And our goal is all the same. To help to help post-op. I help pre-op as well, but especially to help post-op, because nobody can explain to you what it is you're going to feel.
Right.
And the great thing, the part of my gift to my clients is I've lived it. I know what it is. So kind of there are a couple of us who've had surgery, and it kind of gives us a bit of a different level. Everybody's qualified. I'm not saying that my colleagues are not. Yeah. When you can say I've lived it, it's a little bit different.
Well, that relatability, they can't have that if they've never gone through it. Just as like, because like physically from day one how we feel, like what it feels like to have like the burps and like the gurgles, and like you've experienced it. But say another dietitian, like they can only know what you've described. They've never physically dealt with it.
Exactly.
And then the mental game that goes into food, like, you felt it. It's great.
Well, and that's the reason why we started this podcast, because when we were looking, we were seeing all of these podcasts that were by surgeons.
Yeah.
But there was nothing from a patient's point of view. And it's like, it's great to hear from doctors. It's great to hear from these wonderful people that have done years of work to get where they're at, but they haven't lived it.
Yeah. So it's different.
So it's just that relatability.
Yeah. Like you are special. You're like a unicorn.
You are a unicorn.
Unicorns. It's like, I totally agree with you. It's when, especially the new post-ops, when it's can be frightening, you know, to really feel alone, and we have communication about every aspect of it, whether it's taking that one sip. I don't know if you guys, you probably have, because we all had that one bite too big, that one sip too many, that one gulp, and when you tell a client, you know, you'll feel it here, you know what it means, right?
Yeah.
And it's letting people know that it's okay, that it happens to all of us, that you will get through it. It's a lot of hand-holding in the best way possible.
Yeah,
and I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, you really connect with your clients, it sounds like.
Well, and I just envisioned, like, when you were going like with the levels, like it really is for me, like every example that you did was literally for me like, oh, I felt it here, or I felt it here. Like, because if you have a bigger gulp of water, it is different than when you eat too much.
Yeah, oh, completely.
The feeling's different. And I feel like it hits me completely different levels. And I remember my sister-in-law being like, what does that feel like? And I'm like, it just feels stuck right here.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
But
it feels stuck.
But I don't,
or it feels like there's an air bubble that you can't quite get out.
Yes. That's a great way to describe it. Yeah.
Thanks.
So I'll tell you a story what happened to me at the beginning.
Oh.
I have a supportive family, but sometimes they try their best, but just kind of miss it a little.
Yeah.
I think about 6 weeks post-op, I had, carry around you guys have it too. This is water and Crystal Light right now, but it was a shake. I took too big a gulp.
Oh.
And I had a vasovagal reaction, and I hit the floor.
Oh, no.
I passed out. And I was in a chair, and I hit the floor.
Okay.
And my husband comes down the stairs, and he looks at me, and he knew I was okay. He looked at me, and he goes, let me guess. You've fallen and you can't get up. Like, that is not funny. And then he helped me up. I was like,
you're like,
wow.
Not right now.
Not right now.
Not the time, not the place. Read the room. Read the room, husband. Oh, man. So it just.
I never heard of that.
I've never heard of that at all. I've
had a bunch. It happened to me once.
Okay.
My surgeon had heard of it, but it never happened to any of his clients.
Okay.
It just means don't take too big a gulp of anything too cold too soon.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that was a side effect, so that's good to know.
Seriously.
Holy cow. Okay.
Well, and I like eat ice and drink water all the time, but no, like that's haven't had that.
Probably had to do with being so close to being, surgery also.
Yeah. It would have to.
I speak on it now to my clients. I lived it.
Yes.
I hit the floor.
Exactly.
I have a question, and it's very random, but it's because you said there's Crystal Light in your drink, right?
Yes.
So I keep hearing like wishy-washy about Crystal Light. It's fine for us to drink, right?
So there are a lot of different philosophies, theories out there,
okay,
specifically about the artificial sweeteners. Some people feel like the artificial sweeteners can be like a gateway to having too much sweets and kind of go back to old habits.
Okay.
There's also some studies, I haven't seen that many of them, that show that it's the possibility that artificial sweeteners can act in your body like sugar and kind of increase your insulin response.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm not sold on that yet.
Okay.
I haven't seen enough about that.
Okay.
The thing with me and Crystal Light is that I feel when it's full strength, it's too acidic for me.
Oh.
So what I have in here, actually, this is, 30 ounces. I do 3 of these a day. Everybody knows I have 3 orange cups all around my house. It's one third straight Crystal Light.
Okay.
1/3, or it doesn't have to be Crystal Light. It could be whatever the powdered sugar-free drink mix is.
Okay.
1/3 water, and then 1/3 crushed ice.
Oh, okay.
So it's dilute.
Yeah.
Flavored. Do you guys have? I personally had trouble with this, and some of my clients. Can you drink straight water? Were you able to drink straight water?
I was. Yeah.
She's a huge water drinker.
Even before.
I prefer, so like I can handle carbonation really well. And so I drink the grapefruit bubbly all day, every day. Like that's if I don't drink that, I don't get my water in. So I like a little flavor.
A little flavor and a little bubble.
Yeah, because it used to be LaCroix, the lemon LaCroix. And then now I've found grapefruit bubbly and I'm like obsessed. So yeah, I'm not even joking you. I have 8 cases at my boyfriend's house right now.
That's amazing.
Grapefruit bubbly.
You're hoarding it. You're a hoarder.
I am a bubbly hoarder because I don't want to run out. I hate that feeling of opening the fridge and I'm like, what? Where's my bubbly? So yeah. So every time we go to the grocery store, I get like 2 or 3 cases. So yeah.
What temperature do you like it?
I like it cold. It's got to be cold. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. If I drink the bubbly, it has to be cold. But if I drink like tea or something, it has to be hot.
Yeah,
tea.
I was actually telling my husband recently, I've noticed that I need to have my water like ice freaking cold, and then my tea has to be like scorching hot.
Yeah.
I don't like this middle ground at all.
No, I don't either.
That's why I asked you, because I found that with people, especially post-op.
Okay.
People like it very cold or very hot, whereas before they didn't care so much.
Okay.
This is not scientific. This is just my own observations.
That's kind of a cool observation, though, because now that you said it, I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah. I was realizing
I do like it either hot or cold.
Yeah, like last weekend, I was like, I notice I don't care if this is like, if it's temperature, I'm like, I don't want it. I want something like scorching hot so bad. Mm-hmm. So I now can tolerate for where like it's about to burn my tongue. Like that's how hot I can get it.
Wow.
Yeah. I was telling Eric one time though, like I took it too soon, and then the back of the roof of my mouth totally burned.
Oh.
Yeah. And then like 2 days later, the skin came off. It was awful. I was like painful.
I'm like, I've got my tongue on the roof of my mouth.
Yeah. It was on the gum line. It was so bad. I was like, okay, we need to pull it back a little bit on this heat business.
That sucks. Yeah. Oh man.
Asbestos mouth.
Right? Oh man.
So I see straws though. What are your feelings on straws?
Oh, I'm good on straws. Yeah, I was straws like 6 weeks after, because I was told no straws ever again.
Yeah,
when I went in.
Ditto, we didn't. Yeah,
and ever. And I was like, come on, like it can't be that bad. So I perfected the art of drinking out of a straw. I know.
That's so funny.
This sounds really bad, but I take a sip and then I hold it in my mouth and then I swallow it like little bits at a time. So I don't take in a bunch of air when I'm sucking on the straw. Mm-hmm. I know it sounds really bad.
Wait. Did you ever hear my presentation on this? Because that's exactly what I teach people.
Oh my gosh.
But I usually do a demo with it of a hold it in your mouth so you can control how it goes down. No air pockets.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. There's no difference, in my opinion, of doing what we do and kind of not chugging 30 ounces down with a straw, then taking a sip. And it's, for me, so much more enjoyable.
Oh, yeah.
My doc also said no straw. Now I see across the country, it's kind of regional.
Yeah.
Some say yes, some say no.
Yep.
It's not my job to tell somebody to drink from a straw or not, but if they choose to, I give them a little instruction.
Yeah, give a little tip. Yeah, because I know that the same with the carbonation. It used to be no carbonation ever. Again, and now it's like, okay, well, you can have it if you can tolerate it. Like everybody's a little bit different, so just like take it slow.
Yeah. Yeah, my doctor was like, just don't So about the first year is what she told me. She didn't say never. She was like,
okay.
First year, let's just not touch it because like you're going to feel full and it could hurt and it just doesn't sit well with a lot of people. So just be careful. And I'm like, all I drank anyway was water and tea. So it didn't even.
Well, and you didn't even drink tea. Oh, well, iced tea.
Iced tea. Yeah, not hot tea. I didn't start drinking hot tea till like what, last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right when we started the podcast.
I'm sorry, I don't know. How far post-op are you guys?
I'm 2.5 years.
And I'm 6 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're far enough out that we can start like testing the boundaries, I guess, a little bit.
Did you test in that first year?
No.
No, you didn't. Okay.
No.
We were like crazy rule followers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been following the trend recently about what the dietitians are talking about. That first year is really important.
It is.
The whole honeymoon phase. So it makes me happy to hear that you didn't. The only thing I tested with was I did have a sip of diet ginger ale.
Oh.
A couple of months in.
Okay.
No, that didn't feel good. That hurt.
Yeah.
And I haven't done it again 9 years out. That's it. Done.
Yeah. No. I think it was actually closer to 1.5 years before I had carbonation.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I was like water, coffee. That was all I drank.
Well, yeah, or you would just open it and then you would leave it out. So it'd go flat.
I would let it sit for a little bit.
Unfizz.
Yeah. But now it's like I have to have it when it's first open.
Like that crisp.
It's like a thirst quenching thing for me. I don't know. Like I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, where's my bubbly?
Where is it?
Because I like that. I don't know. I'm weird. I'm weird.
Well, I think it's super important that first year because it sets up like all the good habits for later. Like I still use like not just me, you, we both use like the same things. Like you have to go back to the basics sometimes. And if you have a good like foundation, then you can be successful. And like we're living proof, like being 6.5 years out, she's 2.5, you're 9. Like if you follow that first year, is just follow the rules, guys.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. And there are some people who resent it a little bit. And then you're going to have to kind of reel them back in with a little bit of tough love and say things like, if you had VSG, you had 80% of your stomach removed.
Yeah.
You did this for a reason. Let's work the tool.
Yep.
And that's just kind of just to let people know that first year is so important because you don't have the hunger hormones, the ghrelin isn't being made.
Yeah.
So you have a chance to really learn how to eat, focusing on your protein and focusing on really learning what your hunger and your fullness cues really are.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that first year for me was really, really important because it really instilled those basics that you're supposed to know already, but we didn't. And so it's like starting over. Okay, we're starting from scratch, kind of like Mel's whole thing of like, okay, we have a baby tummy.
Yeah, I treat it like a baby tummy.
Yeah. And we're going to introduce liquids just like a baby. And then we'll go to purees and then soft food. And like, I really tried to adhere myself to that whole concept of really, when I had the surgery, I was adamant that this was it. Like this was my last chance and I needed to do it the correct way because you don't just get 80% of your stomach cut out because you just kind of have a whim.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
It's a solid like decision.
You're not flipping a coin.
Yeah. You're not like, I wonder what I'll do today. Oh, I know, I'll get weight loss surgery. No.
Yeah.
It's a process.
It's a commitment. And if you do it, you might as well be all in.
Exactly.
And,
Yes.
And after that first year, the new challenges come.
Right.
So whether it's social, emotional, whatever it is, pandemic, we all lived through that one.
Yep.
It's stuff comes at you that you don't necessarily expect. And like you're talking about the good foundation, but I do feel really strongly, and I'm not sure if you guys agree or not, that I don't believe in going back to liquids. I believe in going back to the basics of focus on your protein, watch your simple carbs. I don't feel like you have to go back to liquids or full-on shakes again.
So
I tried it.
Yeah, we both tried it. I think I was like 1.5 years.
Yeah.
I think maybe
it was
close
last
to
summer.
2 years. Yeah.
It was,
and we were like, okay, let's do this reset diet that everybody talks about. And you do like 1 week of just liquids.
Yeah.
And I was like, I did this before. It'll be easy. No, I needed food. Like we were so cranky and like
the third day was what it was. Like
it was hard.
For me, the first 2 days were fine. It was that third day.
And I was like, I need food.
And like shit was like happening around us that was like stressful. And I'm just like, I have a headache. Like this is a problem. Like, yes, I'm getting liquids in and I'm getting like protein in, but it's not the same. It didn't feel the same.
No.
You know?
No, because your ghrelin's working, your body. It's I don't think you can go back to that. And then it feels like a punishment.
It does.
It would be a punishment.
Yes.
We're so lucky that we have this tool to use properly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think we were like, after that, we were like, no.
Not for us.
Not for us. And then I started reading more about like how dietitians are saying, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like you are not meant to go back on liquids. You were supposed to use the tool. Like you said, you go back to the basics of focusing on your water and your protein, but don't just go straight to liquids.
Yeah.
That's extreme. That's extreme.
It's extreme and not necessary.
Yes.
And painful and upsetting and
emotional and I refuse to ever do it again.
No.
So we tried it. It was not a good experience. Yeah.
Let's never do that again.
Yeah. So speaking of those back to basic proteins, what do you usually suggest that people eat for protein? What's your like?
What they eat for protein? What protein sources?
Yeah.
So I don't believe in handing somebody a diet and saying, here, eat this.
Okay.
Because I do think that anybody can do that for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but it doesn't really teach you about yourself and your own habits.
Okay.
And we've all been on those. We didn't get to weight loss surgery without trying, who knows how many diets.
All of them.
So my approach is really talking to somebody and hearing their lifestyle, their likes, their dislikes. And I really believe that anything can be fit into your plan. If people cook, then I help them with recipes because that's my jam, cookbooks and recipes.
Yeah.
If they don't cook, we talk about what to order in.
Okay.
Nice.
But as far as protein, it's what you like.
Okay.
I see no reason in ever eating anything that you don't like. Doesn't serve you.
I like that.
I talk about don't waste your space. Don't waste your pouch space. It's only a few ounces.
Yeah.
Fill it with what honors that pouch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Well, I don't necessarily have any protein sources are better than others. Personally, the old school diet of, chicken breast. I don't know about you guys. 9 years out, I can't eat chicken breast.
Oh, really?
No, I can't. I can't at all.
Oh,
no, it's too dry. My boyfriend who had bypass surgery, he can't do chicken breast either because it's just too dry for him.
I've not had a problem chicken breast.
See,
I have to do chicken thighs.
Personal. So my clients that can have chicken breast, more power to you. But those who have trouble tolerating it, you don't have to eat chicken breast.
No, you
don't. Lose or regain. What is it that you like?
Yeah, I do chicken thighs because it's got way more.
Dark meat has more moisture.
Yes, I hate the word moist. I hate. We
mock the word moist, but sometimes we have to use it.
I know, with cakes and chicken. That's the times that it's okay to use it. Yeah, no. Yeah, it just makes me cringe when I hear it. I'm just like, oh, it's so gross.
Same with my kids. My kids are like, Mom, moist. No, don't use moist.
Yeah,
don't do it.
And then how do you give tips for ordering in that? Because that really spoke to me.
This is the most fun part of my job.
Oh,
so I have clients across the country. They eat from restaurants. Some regions say takeout. Like in New York, I'm saying I'm getting takeout. Some people bring in different phrases or use whatever it is. If you're ordering food from a restaurant, we look at menus because even the little mom and pop places have the menus online. So I love going through menus with people, and I'll never say this is what you must eat. I'll say, okay, first I'm gonna have people, my goal is to teach people how to think, how to order themselves.
Yes.
So I don't just straight out say it. We talk through it. And they'll pick out their favorite flavors in their appetizers. Sometimes people have 2 appetizers. We go throughout all the ethnicities. I have people in the South that go to barbecue. I have people traveling. So we'll plan ahead, looking at menus to see what places they might be going to.
Oh, cool.
Honestly, it can really be overwhelming. Post-op.
It can. So when I was newly post-op, I did great. I did perfect. I ate at home. Like we did eat out, but I was very good about like, okay, I'm going to pull everything off. Like it was so weird when I was at restaurants because I'm like, okay, can I like at Applebee's, I'd be like, can I get the Fiesta Lime chicken? And I just want the chicken, the cheese, and the sauce.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, what do you want for your side? I don't want any sides. Don't bring me anything. Like just the chicken. And they'd always be like,
what the fuck?
What is this girl doing? Like, okay. So that I knew that, but then it was as I got further along and I started adding some foods in, it got very overwhelming. And then right after my husband left me, I was eating out all the time because it was just me in the house. And so, and then I just got like overwhelmed and I was just like, hamburger. Like I didn't know how to order. So having somebody like you that would go through the menus and I could say, okay, this is something that I can comfortably have would be amazing. Like so amazing.
To give you an example, last week I had one client she lives in California.
Okay.
She went to Disneyland. It was her first time going. Well, we'll talk about pandemic in a second because I have a whole lot to say about pandemic eating and post-pandemic eating.
Okay,
cool. This client went to Disneyland. She's about 10 weeks post-op. First time going out with the family. And it was really challenging because her kids, all the old mind games, the head games come back in. What do the kids want in Disneyland? They want the Mickey Pops with the chocolate and they want to go to the buffets. And she felt initially bad because the buffets are not inexpensive.
No.
So should she not go to the buffet? And we talked about it. And I mean, it depends on your socioeconomic, what you can spend. But she decided, and together I helped her talk through it, that going to Disneyland, it's about the experience. And if her kids and her husband wanted to go to the buffet, it's okay. Financially, it was okay for her. And I said, don't not go. This is part of your world. If you could have a little, it was a breakfast buffet, a little big piece of egg, a little piece of bacon, have your protein. You want to take a bite of something else, try it. But live. We all did this so we can be healthier and live longer lives.
Yeah.
If you go to your husband and go, I can't go to the buffet. Why'd you have? You're not honoring. I always use the expression honoring touch. You're not honoring your surgery.
Yeah.
If you don't go out and live your life.
Correct.
Oh, I like that.
I really like that because that's the whole point of the surgery, like you said, is to live your life. And if you're constantly depriving yourself of these experiences because you may be around food, like that's not doing any good for your life. And then you're going to end up resenting your surgery because you're not living your life. And you're like, well, I could have done all these things before I had surgery.
Well, that and like
people go down a spiral of, binge eating or whatever emotional eating you did prior to surgery.
Yes.
Those kind of deprivation activities can really trigger stuff.
Yes.
Well,
for sure.
It's still there. Like you have to deal with that.
9 years out, it's still there.
It's still very much present. Yeah. It is in the back of my brain all day, every day.
Well, and would you really want to live where you're like, I can't go there. I can't go there. Like that would just be crazy. Like you have to learn how to deal with it. And if you're doing that, that means you're not learning how to deal with your food and your emotions. You're just like, I just won't go there and it won't be a problem.
She was so successful and so grateful that she went.
Oh,
I've seen,
And so then that makes you feel great because you helped her kind of work through that kind of fear of going in that situation. But having I'm sure you were in her brain when she was there. And it really helped process it. I know I'm going to Disneyland in November.
Yeah.
And I'm really I'm a snack fiend. So I like the pretzels, the Mickey pretzels and the Mickey ice cream and all of that. Because I never got to go to Disneyland or anything when I was a kid. So now I'm like, well, I want to do all the things and I want to eat all the snacks that I never got to eat. And so I'm trying to learn okay, I get the Mickey ice cream. I take a couple bites. I hand it off to somebody else, instead of eating the whole thing by myself.
And I think if you kind of change your mindset of why you want it, because a lot of us didn't go as a kid. That doesn't mean that we need to eat all of the things because we're there,
Oh,
So
exactly.
So it's like fun because you did great at Disney World because like you were doing that in your head. You're trying to figure it out. And can't remember what I said to you. I was just like, do you need that or is that necessary? And you're like, oh yeah, I don't need because the ice cream and whatever the thing was.
Oh yeah, because I was like, we were in Disney Springs in Florida. And I was like, okay, I need the pretzel. I need the Mickey ice cream. I need the Dole Whip. I need the churro. And then there was something else. And I know. Yeah, I'm obsessive when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay,
hold
on.
Is
that necessary? And like, I was like, yes, it's 100% necessary. And then as we're walking around, I'm like, no, damn it, it's not necessary. And I was like, oh, she was like, why don't you pick one that you want? And we ended up not getting any of them. Like, I was like, nope, I'm fine. I don't need them. Like,
oh yeah, because we just went to Starbucks. That was it.
Yeah.
And you didn't feel deprived.
No, because I made the choice.
Yeah.
It wasn't somebody else telling me that I couldn't have it. It was, I was walking around and I was like, I've already tried the Dole Whip. So it's not really like I need to have it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'd rather go and like look at other stuff beyond spending time waiting in line for a Dole Whip.
Yeah, and we had fun. We found hats.
We did find hats.
These really big ones. They're fun.
Yeah. I love a good Disney hat.
Right? Yes. So yeah, I think it's there's a choice there. And I think it's different from being told that you can't have something to choosing that you're not going to have it.
The power and the choice.
Or choosing that one bite or a little portion of. So I'm really big also, and my clients know this, is if you're going to choose to have it, enjoy it. Don't eat it standing up by the sink. Don't eat it in your car. Don't sneak it. Those are old school habits that a lot of us had. Own it, enjoy it, remember why it's important to you, if it's anything besides the taste. Because for a lot of us, food is memories, food is emotions.
Right.
Just take the time, be present, and enjoy it. And then with the holidays coming up, that's I'm going to be talking about that a lot. I'm doing a 12-week. People that start with me soon are going to be getting through the beginning of 2022, through the holidays, through the beginning of the new year.
Nice.
All the challenges. And we're going to be talking a lot about the emotional ties of certain foods and why it's important to honor those. Like for me, my personal, I can always speak from my own experience.
Right.
My grandma's stuffing was my favorite food in the world on Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
She's gone. My sister makes it. My surgery was October 30th. So my first Thanksgiving, I wasn't really on solids.
Yeah.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
I certainly wasn't on stuffing.
Right.
You know. So my sister froze a piece for me
Aww.
to have later on to taste. But now every year I make it my business to have. I can't eat the mound that I have. We don't have the space for it.
Yeah.
But have some mindfully talking about my grandma, really enjoying making new memories and reliving the old ones. And the food's connected. People are like all or nothing in their bariatric journeys. They're not setting themselves up for success.
And see, that's how I used to be. I used to be very all or nothing. And I still am with certain things. I'm an all or nothing type personality. Yeah. But things like that, I'm my mindset has changed in the last 6 months, I think, where it's like
maybe more.
Yeah. I think it's really gotten to where what you just said, like I can still have it. I just have to learn how to have it in a healthy way where I'm not binging on it and then hating myself later because I just binged on it and I didn't honor why I was having it.
Yeah.
So, you know, like you're having the stuffing on Thanksgiving and that's your grandma's recipe and it's very emotionally attached to you, but you're honoring your grandma by eating it and you're not eating the whole pan. You're having your amount and you're saying, okay, I'm glad I had it. You know, I had the good memories and now we're going to move on past it because I mean, I love Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is and Christmas is my jam. I love all the food. And I think, and stuffing is one of my all-time favorite foods. Yeah. And for the first 2 years, I didn't have it because I was like, nope.
Did you feel deprived?
I did.
Yeah.
I really did. And so this year, I'm going to try being more mindful of why am I having the stuffing? Because I had good memories on Thanksgivings. And it's just very special to me. And having my family around me. And that's my biggest thing with the food on Thanksgiving.
And it's kind of like, we can have those foods, just fit it to your pouch, right? Like you can just be fit like.
It to your pouch. But that first year, during that honeymoon phase.
Right.
Like when my first Thanksgiving soon I was newly post-op.
Mm-hmm.
That first year, maybe it's not that important to do it. So what I tell my clients and what I truly believe is that first year is made for not these foods are not something you can never eat again.
Right.
It's just not now.
Yeah, not
and
now.
If you can get through that and say, okay, I'm going to have it later on, not the whole pan, I'm going to have some, but for this right now, for this honeymoon phase, I have to do this work.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
It's not easy.
No, it's not.
Again, once again, you had the big surgery, do the work to get where you want to be. Think about that first year, if you're feeling a little bit deprived, because we all go through that.
Yeah.
The mind game of deprivation, of feeling bad, of almost mourning the loss of food as our friend.
Right.
Because can't do that anymore.
Yep.
But really what you have to sit down and think about is, where do I want to be 1 year from today? What do I need to do to get there?
Yeah.
That's a really good.
I talk to my clients about often. Just when you're feeling deprived, try to switch that. You said it, switch the mindset to the goals.
Yeah, the long term.
Getting you to your goal.
Yes, exactly. No, I love that. I love that because it's so important to not feel deprived. And I think that first year, you are going to feel deprived. You are, you very much are. I know I felt deprived. And I did it to myself. I understand that I made the choice to cut out all carbs.
She did do that. Yeah.
And yeah, like pretty much all carbs.
She had no more than 25 grams of carbs a day or something.
A day.
Yeah.
It was very extreme.
It was whatever was in meat, cheese, and almonds.
Yes.
Cashews.
And maybe some fruit.
Yeah.
But now I'm kind of learning, my eyes are opening up to, it's okay to have carbs. It's fine. And your body's going to always fluctuate. But again, it comes back to that whole depriving yourself. And because exactly, because that's what we did when we were on all of those diets. And that's where my brain switches to is with Weight Watchers, you feel deprived. With any diet, keto, whatever, you're feeling deprived because in my brain, I was like, well, they can eat that. Why can't I eat that?
Right.
Like, I don't understand why I can't eat that. And when I do, I balloon up. Well, it's because that's just the situation you're put in.
Right.
And it's because they eat a small amount. I do not.
Right.
And what's helped me through the years is I equate it to a food allergy. So I just act like that just doesn't, I can't have it. That just doesn't exist.
You just don't eat it.
It just doesn't work for me. And that's fine because I've obviously let food in that I do enjoy and do like. But I've done the whole thing where if my husband makes something and I know I don't like it, he'll just have some. I'm like, no, I'm not going to waste my space. Something I don't freaking like.
Don't waste your space.
I don't like it. Why would I do that? Then I have to wait another 15, 20 minutes to try to have the food that I really wanted. This is dumb. I'm just going to have exactly what I want and how I want it now. And I know that was really hard for my husband to deal with because he's a cook. And I will start altering the things and he's just like, what are you doing? And I'm like, but it's fine.
It's important to learn. So many of us kind of sat back and cleaned our plates.
Right.
It's so important to learn to advocate for ourselves.
Yes.
And sometimes our society doesn't allow the heavier people to feel okay advocating for ourselves.
Right.
There's shame involved. And so part of what I'm trying to do also is, and we all are in our community, get rid of the shame.
Yes.
It's okay to say, I don't want this, or I do want this.
Yeah.
It's okay to have a couple bites of cake. It's okay that if you're celebrating to have that ice cream or whatever, but know your limits and know that you can't eat a whole gallon of ice cream. Honor that, that craving and that time, but don't go overboard.
Right.
Well, and the same thing with flavor. So I'm a true believer in long-term bariatric success is based on having a variety of foods and really having strong taste. Because so many of us where food was punishment. You're too heavy. You gotta eat that plain food there. And you're gonna be successful only if you're miserable.
Exactly.
And that's not the case. So I don't know if you guys have seen my Instagram, what I call my blank canvas cooking. So you don't have to eat the same thing every day. if you don't want to. Some people do, and that's fantastic. I would get bored as heck. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
For me, it's all about flavor, and trying different things, and trying different ethnicities and regional foods and condiments. I'm like the condiment queen, because how do you take a place I'll saute up a couple of pounds of ground turkey, because I don't want to have to eat the same flavors every week and every day of the week, and then flavor them different ways on different days. It can be an Italian flavoring. I can do a barbecue sauce. I can do an Asian mix with, soy sauce, ginger, garlic, sesame oil, just whatever I'm craving that day. It's when people say, oh my God, it has to be boring, or believe in their hearts that it has to be boring for you to be successful. I think that's nonsense.
Well, and there's dry rubs. Like if you don't want a condiment, use dry rubs. They're delicious.
Yeah.
Oh no, I consider that a condiment. I meant flavoring, seasoning.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It doesn't have to be an oil based. I'm
talking,
I'm a big Trader. I know there's not Trader Joe's across the country. Everyone doesn't.
We have Trader Joe's. Yeah.
Okay, so just go down that spice aisle and try different ones on different things. It's amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. The Tagine seasoning.
Yep.
I have recently discovered it.
Okay.
And I freaking love it because it's got so much flavor. It's got a little bit of spice with that lime, and then you've got the salt.
The Tagine.
Yep.
Yeah, that's delicious.
It's so good. I mean, I tried it for the first time on the rim of my margarita, but no judgment here, right?
No. So Dylan, my son, really loves it, and we were at the store, and he's like, "Can we buy some?" And I'm like, I don't know, is it good? And he's like, it's delicious. And I'm like, sold. And then, I put it on my taco. Holy crap. That is a whole game changer. And my husband doesn't like it, but I'm like, oh, this lime and spice. Holy crap.
Yeah. I had, Costco has these taquitos basically, but they're not the frozen, like hard as a rock ones. They're like fresh.
Yeah.
And so I'll cook those for me and my mom. And then I do my guacamole and I mix in the tagine.
Oh.
And then it gives it just that like limey flavor. And it's like, that's what I needed. I needed that like flavor that's coming at you and like kind of smacks you in the face.
Yeah.
And then you feel satisfied.
Exactly. That's I believe that no one should eat bland food unless you like it, and that's okay. But so no, it's you're talking about going to Costco. If you really walk down the aisles of a Costco, there are you asked me about protein before.
Yeah.
There are so many choices. I was there last week. There are chicken-based sausages. There's meatballs. There's Asian flavored. There's Mexican flavored. There's Italian flavored. And the thing with Costco is, you get like, huge amounts, and it can be intimidating.
Yeah.
So what I do is I bring home, I just bought the chicken apple meatballs.
Oh, they're so good. They're so amazing. Like,
40 of them.
Yeah, right. No. Right. Like 40 is way too many.
So for me, I can eat about 4. I mean, I'm 9 years out. Everybody's pouch is different. I'm not telling anybody what to eat.
Yeah.
But for me, it's about 4.
Okay.
And I freeze them in the little snack bags.
There you go.
And pull and eat. It's like, I love to have things that I can grab and go, just to, nuke for a few seconds, that are flavorful, that are high in protein. And Costco's great for that. So many different choices.
Oh, yeah. I just bought these chicken burgers, and they have caramelized onion and cheddar in them.
Oh.
And they sound, like I looked at them, I was like, that is an easy meal. Like literally take it out, air fry it, and then put whatever condiments I want over the top of it and eat it. And it's like, that's going to give me flavor.
And then full protein.
And it's full protein. And
exactly.
And I bought another thing. It was like one of those meals that they have. And it was a lemon chicken something. And I was just like, oh, this will be an easy weeknight meal. So I pulled it and put it in the cart, which that was a whole nother story, because I went with my boyfriend and his 2 daughters. And so me and his daughters are walking around, and I'm just like stacking stuff on. And I've got like this whole armful of stuff when I'm like walking back to the cart.
Oh my God.
And Chloe looks at me and she goes, oh, what did you just do? And I was like, I found lunch stuff. And I just like threw it in the cart.
I was like, did you just murder an animal?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I found this chicken thing. And so I was looking at it the other day to make it for dinner. And it has like 26 grams of protein in one serving. And I was like, oh my God, like that's better than most protein shakes.
Yep. Yeah.
I was like, and this is so easy.
Oh, yeah.
So many choices. That's the kind of stuff I do myself and have my clients do. Go walk the stores. Pick something that you don't normally have and try it. What's the worst that happens? You don't like it?
Yeah.
Big deal. You know?
And then you
Same
just
thing with the seasonings.
Yeah, exactly.
Recycle, repurpose. Just so restaurants and travel, we were talking about the menus.
Yeah.
So I have someone who's going to Europe for the first time because
oh wow,
in the pandemic.
Yeah.
And our community hurt. We got hurt.
Yeah.
People were stuck at home with food. We were stuck at home not going to the gym. All that scary emotional stuff came back. And that's kind of, depending where you live, and a little bit over, people are going out again. But the reemergence from, our home prisons is also challenging. People don't know what to do socially anymore.
Right.
And it's a big reminder for me, for my new post-ops, who really were just sitting home eating by themselves or with just their family, when they're going out to eat, that you get all this like external stimulus, the noise, and you have to really, that's why it's so important to learn how to read your fullness cues.
Yes.
Because with all the external stimulation, sometimes it's hard to.
Oh.
And you take that extra bite. And also when you're eating with other people that you haven't eaten with before or not that often, it's about pace. Because some people eat fast, and socially we kind of eat the same pace as the people that we're eating with.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Get themselves in big, uncomfortable trouble because of, too big a bite. You're talking, you're taking too big a bite. You're eating too quickly. They're taking a sip, you take a sip, and then you feel that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've noticed it with my husband. Like when we're eating together, if he reaches for food, within seconds, I'm like right behind him reaching for food or water. Like I'm about to go grab one because you guys all just grabbed one.
and I did it because you did it.
Like that's the deal. It's like, you're like, oh yeah, I think I might be hungry or thirsty. Like it's so interesting. Like I didn't realize, like, I know like there's like a mirrored system like with your feet when you're talking to people, but I didn't think that it resonated even with your food and drink too. Like that's crazy.
I didn't even, there's sometimes
so you have to be aware to just do your own thing and advocate in your own head for yourself.
At all times.
Take a bite, well then let them take 3 before you take whatever, pattern, rhythm, you get to decide. We get to decide our rhythm. We shouldn't let the people we're eating with decide the rhythm of our eating.
I feel like that right there kind of explains our entire journey though. We shouldn't let other people decide how we're going to live our journey.
Yep.
Right. You're right.
Like we should find our own rhythm of not only like our weight loss rate or, what size we are, what it says on the scale. Because I see so many things of people being like, I only lost this amount this week. What's wrong with me? Or what did I not do right? I thought I did everything right. And it's like,
whoa.
What is telling what is telling you that you aren't doing great? Because you just said you did everything right. So
as great as social media is, that's one of the negatives, the whole comparison thing.
Yeah.
And I also spend a lot of time telling people, don't look, this is your journey. Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
On, It's hard though.
Yeah. I mean, it's great because you get to be so inspired by all these people that are out there and they're just killing it and they're, in the gym every day and blah, blah, blah. And it's awesome for them. That works for them. But just because it works for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
Right.
You have to find your own rhythm. You have to be able to roll with the punches of what your life is giving you.
Well, and
and not feel like a failure by doing it.
Exactly.
That's the thing. It's all that same mindset switch. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing the best that I can do.
Yep.
You can't do any more than that, right?
Yeah.
That's all you can ask of yourself.
Exactly.
And nobody's perfect all the time.
No. Exactly.
The amount of beating ourselves up that many of us have done over a bite of this, a bite of that, not having your flu, whatever it is.
Yep.
So what?
Yep.
So what? It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. We're going.
Yeah. We're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and we can't expect to do any more than that.
Well, I think that's the deal is like, why are we putting expectations on ourselves that are meant for someone else? Like you have to like, I know these are my capabilities. Like, I know I'll never be a dancer or a football player. Why would I try? Like, that's not, let's be you. Because I think that's the thing about what we've learned through the process is like before we were like catering to everyone. We were taking care of people. We're doing all these things for everyone else. And then it feels foreign to do what we want to do when we want to do it because we've been catering for so long. Like,
well, and it feels selfish. And
it does.
Self-care isn't selfish.
No.
Is the big mantra for that first year. It's okay to take care of yourself. And what I was saying in my own journey, I'm a dietitian. I know what to eat.
Right.
But I put everybody else ahead of myself. You know, and I didn't take care of me. And this, having the surgery was the biggest step that I could do, most of us can do, to start really taking care of yourself. And there are some people who may not react properly to it in your life. Those are not necessarily people who should be
in your life.
In your life.
Correct.
Yeah, we shaved them off.
Yeah, we knocked them right out because it was you have to. You cannot.
It took me years. It took me years. I felt guilty. I felt like these are my friends, but you know, they were my friends. Anybody who can, to give you a specific example, I was about 8-10 months post-op. Okay. And I used to go to all-you-can-eat sushi with some people.
Okay.
Can't do that anymore. And it wasn't like my girlfriend in Disneyland, not my girlfriend, my client in Disneyland who going to the buffet was part of the experience for her family.
Yeah.
This was literally to sit and eat, to see how much sushi you could eat. And at the time I could probably eat 4 pieces.
Right.
And I didn't want to put myself in that position of feeling bad, feeling left out. And this person said to me, you know what? You're no fun anymore.
Woo-hoo.
And I took it. I took it for years until I went, it was hard. It's hard to say, this isn't working.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Not everybody can understand the process that we go through after surgery, and not everybody can understand why we're doing things that we are still fun.
Yeah.
We just do fun things in different ways.
Yes.
We don't choose fun by going to eat. We're choosing fun by the experiences of life.
Well, and just because
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to respectfully disagree with you.
Okay.
Because sometimes you can, I mean, food is my world. And you can go for the food, the eating experience if you're wise about it.
Right.
So, for example, I'll give you for my 50th birthday.
Ooh.
We went to Alinea.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, which is a restaurant in Chicago.
Okay.
It's a place, I don't live in Chicago. It was a destination. It's something I always wanted to do.
Oh.
It is multi-courses. It is like the circus of food. They hang things pop. You have balloons of
how cool. It's an experience.
I didn't want to not experience
that.
Yeah.
It's a full experience.
Because I had weight loss surgery.
Right.
So I was really, really mindful. It was like 12, 15 courses, small bites.
Yeah.
But I took a little bite of each bite.
Of course.
And I waited, and I was fine. And I got to live the moment, live the experience.
Yes. Well, and I do agree with that. I just think like the small things, like the all you can eat sushi. Right. Like we don't feel the necessity of going and doing that for fun because there's nothing else to do that we can think of, you know. We're living the experiences, and so I think something like that of the restaurant that you just said, that's more on the experiencing life section.
You're right.
More than
food focused.
Yes,
very food focused.
Yes,
it was all about the experience.
The experience.
I'd be damned if I wasn't going to experience that because I had weight loss.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, and I'm feeling that same way because when we're in California in November, I almost said. It is next month.
It is, Kelly.
Oh, God, I just panicked.
Yes, it is next month, my friend.
Yes, I was like, holy crap. So that just smacked me in the face. So when we're there next month, I was saying I've never been to the sugar factory.
Right.
And I've always like seen these amazing drinks and things. And I'm very sweet focused. I love my sweets. And I was like, I would like to experience that once. Like, and since we're going to be there, and I know my boyfriend's kids want to go to LA, and I know there's one in LA.
Oh, there you go.
I was like, well, maybe we should go to the sugar factory. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, no, that's just tempting. And then I was like, no, but that's an experience.
Right.
Like you go for, I want to go for the experience, not to
it's the memory,
eat my weight in sweets.
Yeah, it's the memory, it's a story, it's something that you can like share with other people.
Exactly.
Like, it's okay.
Right.
Exactly.
And
when
those are food focused, those are fine. But you're right. You can eat sushi that I said, peace out. I don't find those experiences necessary.
Well, yeah. And to piggyback on that, it's more or less like we're still fun. Just because I don't like to do the fun things that you do doesn't make my fun stuff not fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we just have fun differently. And that has to be okay. And if it's not okay, then we're not going to be friends. Like that's the deal.
And it's okay if we're not friends. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
but it took me a long time to understand that.
Yeah.
And I do work with part of my work with my clients is to let them know way sooner than I figured it out.
Right.
It's really okay.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And that's kind of our mission also, is to let people know that it's okay. It's okay if a family member doesn't agree with you on your surgery. You're still making the choices for you, and you can inform them of, in a polite way, but it's okay if they don't agree with you.
Well,
it's okay if a friend of 10 years says, you're not fun anymore. Well, then I think maybe we should rethink our friendship then.
Yeah.
Because if you don't find me fun,
then why are we hanging out?
Why are we friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you're talking about fun also. For me, I have so much more confidence now. I'm the same person.
Yes.
But I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin.
Yep.
So I'm doing stuff that I never allowed myself to do before. Those experiences.
That whole term of like, we're becoming a butterfly.
Yeah.
I really feel that in my soul sometimes because it was like I was in this like little cocoon and I was just like kind of like in myself. Like I couldn't fully be myself because I felt like I was constantly being judged for my weight or, any of manner of things. And so when I lost that, I initially, I was very lost of like, okay, who am I? I didn't know who I was, but now it's like I'm becoming that butterfly where you fully get to experience your life because we only have one.
Yes.
We only have one life, people.
Yes.
We do. So let me tell you guys what happened to me last week. So last weekend, my son got married.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So it was the first time in a really long time that I was comfortable in my skin. I was able to get out there and just be me. I felt good about myself. I felt good greeting people. I didn't hide. And my friends who were there, my family that was there, were like, you were beaming. And I never really allowed 100 pounds ago to beam publicly.
Right.
Because of the shame that I felt.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not skinny, but I'm comfortable in my own skin.
And that's all that matters.
Right.
That's so awesome. I love that.
I can just see you right now, just like greeting everyone, talking to all the people, just seeing you smiling. Cause that's what it is. Like, that's why you're beaming, because like you probably before would be like kind of in the shadows and not talk to people. And now it's like, here I am.
Insecure and uncomfortable and
worried about people taking photos of you. And I mean, cause that's where I was at. I was like, I didn't want anybody taking photos unless I was controlling that. I wanted selfies only. There was sometimes that I had full length, but I never liked them. I never posted them.
No.
So
I had years where my kids were little. I don't have pictures of myself with them. And I feel really bad about that. I've made up for it since then.
I'm sure. Yeah. How was the photo taking during the wedding? Were you just like totally into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay. And the dancing, it was... Look,
so much fun.
I'm not the best dancer, but I didn't care because I felt like I was just being me. I wasn't being judged as that bigger person on what's she doing? Even if people weren't saying that 100 pounds ago, I felt it.
Right.
And it wasn't necessarily right or wrong. It's just how I felt. And I'm free of that now.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I randomly dance all the time.
Oh, we'll be taking photos and she'll be over there being like, spinning around, doing her thing. I love it. I mean, coming from, I didn't know who I was, and Melanie kind of like pulled me out. Like there was a certain point where we were doing like fun facts about ourselves. And she's like, okay, what's a fun fact about yourself? And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, well, what do you like? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I had no idea what to say about a fun fact about myself.
Right. And I'm like, okay, you've read how many books? Like Harry Potter, Starbucks. I'm like trying to like naming all the things. I'm like, how do you not see these things?
I had no idea that I had any fun facts about myself.
Right.
And now I can name a lot of them. So it's like, because like I constantly hear Melanie's voice in my head, like, what's a fun fact about yourself? And so I'll like list it in my head. I'll be like, I'm obsessed with Starbucks. I love Harry Potter. I have 6 tattoos. Like there's different like things that have popped up now. Yeah, I've read maybe a lot.
Maybe like 5,000 books. Like it's insane. Wow. It's a lot of
I've read a lot of books.
But now you're appreciating you.
Yeah.
I can say the same thing for me, and I'd say for me, for people that I work with. You appreciate yourself, own you.
Yep. It's you only at the end of the day, you only have one life, and you only have yourself.
Yeah. You have to be friends with yourself. Like we talk about this all the time because it's like you have to like the person in there for you to be like a good person and like like doing the things you like to do and know who you are.
Part of this whole weight loss journey that I'll speak for myself, didn't really know was going to happen.
Oh, I had no idea.
The head step, the mind stuff.
Yep.
That we, getting back to we really need the guidance. So the work that you guys do, putting information out there, it's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
It allows people who wouldn't have access to learn what they're going to be going through and to understand that they're not alone and to understand that whatever they're feeling is okay. Whatever they're experiencing is okay.
It really is. It really is. Because I had no one to really like talk to about this stuff. I was so lost those first few years. And so I think that's why I was like rule oriented because only people I talked to about this was nurses and doctors. So, and they were like, this is what you do. All right. They say I just need to do this and we'll be fine. So that's just what I did for those first few years. And I mean, it totally helped me along the way, but I felt so like alone. Like, and now like talking to Kelly and the people in this community, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm not alone. And these things are so normal.
Yeah. Well, it's like that whole, the 10, 15 pounds. So you'll hit your lowest and then you usually gain about 10 to 15 back. And that's usually where you are solid.
And that's exactly what I did.
And that was exactly what I did. But I knew that Mel didn't. And so we've talked about it a few times and she's like,
I'm like, oh yeah,
that's what happened. I'm not a failure. I didn't do something wrong. It's just where my body wants to be
at. And then it's so normal. Cause like I got down to 179. And then when I hit my like 3 years and 4 years, I got up to 189. And then I sit around 190, 192 still. And it's like, oh yeah, that's where your body just likes to hang out at. I'm like, I was like, why is this not going down? And it's because like, that's just where my body likes it.
And you do. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that's where your body sits. That's where your comfortable level is. But most people that happens to, that's not what happened to me and to some other people.
Yeah.
Oh.
I lost 90 pounds for 2 years.
Okay.
Kept it off.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of soul searching to figure out why I couldn't hit that 100. It was fear. It was pure fear of that last 10 pounds. And this past year and a half, about a year and a half ago, I did it. I just focused because I was like sabotaging myself a little bit. And I had to realize why. It was a number. It was just a stupid number, but I got past it.
Right.
So and I'm comfortable where I am. It's not too low, it's not too high. It's fine. But now I can say 100 and not fear that it's going to go away. I think that's
yeah, it's scary.
That is
because I was nervous. I was like, because I'm always in the 190s, like the low 190s. I'm like, I can't get up to 200. Like that's where my scaredness always comes from. And I'm like, ooh, what am I going to do? So I was like, okay, if I go low, then like it'll take a lot more to get up. That's like the thought process. But it's like, no, like sometimes your body just likes a certain weight and that's just what it is. And I love my body. Like after like being with it for so long and understanding all the things about it, I'm like, yeah, I love this thing. This is great.
I love this thing.
Like I like her. It's good.
Yeah.
But it just took years. Like that didn't happen first year, guys. That didn't happen second year. That was more like year 4. Like it takes a lot of time and that's okay. Like that's all you have is time anyways. Like, so just do the things.
Well, and we recorded an episode on self-sabotage, and that was very eye-opening for us.
For both of us, yeah.
Because we didn't realize how much we self-sabotage. And we kind of hold on to these things out of pure fear.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you said, you were fearful of that number, and it's...
But I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
It took work to finally understand.
Yep. And so it was very, very interesting to hear ourselves like go through the process and be like, "Aw, yep,
there it is, found it."
Because all of the things, it was kind of funny. All of the things that we found because I found this article about self-sabotage, and every single thing I did, like the procrastination, that's the biggest one.
That's the biggest one.
Because I self-sabotage myself with putting things off because I don't want to deal with it. And emotionally and physically, I don't want to deal with it.
Yep.
And I'm working on it.
Hey, at least you're aware.
I'm aware.
That's the first step, right?
Yeah, awareness is key, man.
And I'm working on it. Like when I think of things, I'm like, no, just do it now because future you is going to thank the past you for doing it now.
Yes.
So you know the expression? I think it was a book. Eat the frog. Did you ever hear that expression?
No.
So it's like, do what you really don't want to do. Eat the frog. Get it over with.
Get it over. I teach my kid, I'm like, just eat the food you don't like first. And it's always like the broccoli and whatever. I'm like, and then enjoy the rest of it.
I love broccoli.
So, and it works. I know I love broccoli too.
Broccoli's like my favorite vegetable.
It's one of my favorites.
If I could have broccoli every night, I'd be okay.
Oh, my tummy would hurt.
Really?
It's gassy.
That whole cruciferous vegetable. I still like sauteed onions.
I love sauteed onions.
Oh, yeah. Caramelized onions are good. I just don't do a good job of cooking them.
Wait a minute. Check out on my Instagram. If you have an air fryer.
Yeah.
I do air fry caramelized onions.
Okay.
It's a ways back. It's a game changer.
Tell people tell everyone your Instagram handle.
It's bariatric.nutritionist.
Awesome. And then I want to learn more about this 12-week program.
Yes, I was going to ask that same question. Good job.
Yeah.
So my program is always 12 weeks.
Okay.
Because studies have shown and all the dietitians have proven that in order to change habits, you really need that period of time.
Okay.
But right now, this fall period, to get into that 12-week pre-holiday, get you through Halloween. If you start after Halloween, get you through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's.
Okay.
Start 2022 without procrastinating.
Okay.
Start it in start the diet on Monday thing that we all did for
that
so many years.
Doesn't ever happen. Yep.
It doesn't happen successfully.
No.
But get the coaching, get the support. What I really want people to know is we deserve it. You've had the surgery. You deserve to take it to the next step and get the support that you may have thought was selfish. It's not selfish. It's helping you on your journey. So these 12 weeks, we're going to talk about very personalized, what the person is doing, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what their plans are. And then we're going to talk about it before. So you have a game plan. Never you must do this, because that's nonsense.
Yeah.
But a way to address it so you feel comfortable going in and you don't feel overwhelmed and go down the rabbit hole.
Now,
I do cooking classes. I do virtual cooking classes.
That's fun.
If people cook. I don't want people who don't cook to think that they can't work with me, because they can.
Okay.
But if you do cook, any level of cooking, we do part of my sessions. It's weekly sessions.
Okay.
One-on-one weeklies in a Zoom.
Okay.
I cook with people. I go food shopping with people. I was in Whole Foods in LA. I'm in New York.
Yay!
Because to teach people to try new foods.
Wow.
Your little box and learn flavor. It's so important. And it's daily check-ins.
Okay.
It's journaling. I think journaling is really important, but the app that I use allows you to take a picture instead of write it down if you don't want to write it down.
Okay.
I've been doing this long enough. Send me a picture. I'll know what it is. And I'll be able to help you with it. I don't believe in counting all the macros. Not my thing.
Okay.
I think if you follow the bariatric guidelines and you're really aware of your protein, and how much protein you're getting in a meal and over the course of the day, it kind of all falls into place. And that's the way of thinking.
Okay.
Awesome.
And I love working with my clients. I think people feel more supported than they've ever felt. And that's my goal.
So where do they go to sign up for this? Oh, she's like, I'm done with them.
Yeah. That's what I think of you.
So where do they go to sign up for something like this?
So they can go in the link in my bio sends them to a form where they can sign up and schedule a free discovery call because I limit the number of people that I work with because it's kind of intense. I ask that people give me 100% because I give them 100%.
Okay.
And I want to make sure that the people that I work with that we vibe because there are a lot of bariatric dietitians. We're all great. I may not be the right one for everybody.
I like that.
I only do one-on-ones.
Okay.
Which are great, but some people really need that one-on-one, don't want to hear what other people have to, other people's issues, just want that personal focus. That's what I provide. I'm available for my clients in a way that most people aren't.
Yeah, you went to the store with them. Like, that's amazing.
That's pretty on call for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's, I'm proud of what I do.
I love it.
You can tell that you really love your clients and you love being able to support this whole community, even one person at a time. And I mean, just your Instagram, all of the knowledge that goes behind your posts, like it's amazing and it's so needed within our community because
it's what I provide is, I mean, like you said, it's unique because I come from a place of the dietitian who's living it. And I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. No. I'm there to help everybody learn how to maneuver for long-term success.
That's awesome. And I like that you do the one-on-one.
Yes.
Because I am a one-on-one person. I don't do well in groups. I am not a participator. This podcast is the most participating I've ever done in my life.
It's a true story.
Yeah, because I don't I don't play video games. I don't play board games. I don't like to participate.
You play phone games.
No.
Yeah, I don't look at that.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
I need one-on-one. I need to be able to feel comforted, even though I share my entire life with all of our followers. I need to feel like I can really be open.
Yeah.
To
a safe space. It's a non-judgment space. And sometimes you have to be brutally honest to move to the next step. Right?
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Well, and sometimes that's easier to do without someone in the room. That's, I know for me, I would not want to do a group one either. And that's twofold is that I know I can be 100% honest with someone if no one else is in the room. And I know that if I hear someone else's story, I'm like, I don't care right now. Like I have too much, the time is ticking. I need
I mean, some people thrive on it and need it, but that's not the service I provide. My people
don't.
Yeah, we definitely, it feels like that's why we vibe.
Yep.
Because we all are on the same page with that. For the virtual cooking, so is that just you're on Zoom and people can hop in and see?
Well, no, this is for, I might be doing groups in the future, but right now this is for my one-on-one clients.
Oh, even that's one-on-one.
I want to learn how to cook, blah, blah, whatever it is.
Oh, wow.
If people are afraid, and they shouldn't be afraid to
that's
cook.
so
What's
cool.
the worst thing that happens? You burn something and you start again? It's like, who cares?
That's awesome.
I really want to get the fear out of the kitchen and whatever it is they want to cook. That's what we do.
That's so rad.
That is really cool.
Yeah, because that's super unique because that's not something I've ever heard before.
No.
But definitely would want.
Yeah.
Because then you can literally
I did a lot of it during quarantine.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I am sure. Because quarantine was hell on.
And so you said you wanted to talk about that. How have you had to be different with your clients with post and during the pandemic?
It's just people coming out of quarantine are very overwhelmed with life.
Yeah.
And are falling back into old mindsets and old habits and that emotional eating. I can't even tell you how many people are falling back into those can fall back into those emotional eating habits, but we talk it through.
Right. Okay.
And what you talked about is you're aware. It's that being aware is the first step, and then figuring out how to work through it.
Okay. So for me, I have fallen into a little bit more of a emotional eating since my divorce stuff has all, probably the last 6 months, really, it's gotten to a point where if I'm at my house, I eat. And I'm aware of it. I'm acknowledging that I'm doing it and I'm having these moments, but I don't know how to push past the knowledge.
So I know there are some people who say we shouldn't snack, don't eat at night. I think, can I curse on here?
Yeah, of course.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. That's bullshit. So if somebody wants to, if your house makes you want to eat, don't go and eat the family size bag of Doritos.
Right.
Have a snack that's going to hit the same craving.
Okay.
I'm not sponsored. I eat Quest chips. It serves the same purpose for me as regular chips. The same for my clients.
Okay.
If you're going to eat it, plan for it. Not 9 days ahead, but don't eat. Make it mindful.
Okay.
Choice.
Okay.
What we have now that we didn't have 9 years ago when I first started are so many different choices of protein-filled snacks.
Yes.
And yes, they're processed. And no, you shouldn't only eat them.
Right.
But they're a great tool to have.
They are.
I do believe in using them.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like ravenous, I need something to eat.
Well, first thing you have to say to yourself is, am I really hungry? Is my stomach hungry? Is my head hungry?
It's a head hunger. It's a head hunger.
If it's head hunger, then what do you want to feed it? Are you craving something because it's emotional? And if that's the case, maybe the sleeve of Oreos is not really the right thing to be eating.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to, that's the work. That's where you have to say to yourself, why am I feeling this way?
Okay.
Take a pause. If you still want something after that, I'm a believer in having something that serves your pouch, that serves your process.
Okay.
You don't have to go back to bed hungry, but have a piece of cheese, have some Quest chips, have a bite of a protein, whatever it is. You don't have to fill your pouch to capacity, but feed it if that's what you really need.
Okay. All right.
Like
that helps a lot.
Yeah. Cause it's like, we all feel that way sometimes when we're like wanting things and we know that we shouldn't have those things. It's like, I think we get too much in our head about beating ourselves up about the fact that we want it.
Yeah, I do that.
Or like we feel dumb that we want it or stupid. I know, I think there's thousands. The shame. Yeah.
Yes.
Cause I know Eric's heard me say like, I don't know why I want this. This is so stupid. And he'll be like, why is it stupid? And I'm like, oh, great question. And like that's something we have to ask ourselves that like we can't like move forward if we don't.
Well, and we were talking to somebody last night and we were saying how it's, I'm trying to think of the right term for this. I'm eating it, but then I eat in such a rush that I'm trying to hide it from myself.
Like it didn't happen.
And so I'm finding myself doing that also. And so between what you just said and what they said, I'm like, okay, I've got some good tools.
Yeah.
Because our journey is all about finding the right tools that work for us because we have a tool and utilizing those tools.
Yep.
So I think that will be good. Like talk to myself. Is it like before I just automatically reach for food?
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm doing is I'm just like not even thinking about it, not even processing. I'm just reaching for food, eating as quickly as possible. And then it didn't happen. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I said to you, honor when you're eating. Don't eat by the counter. Don't eat in your car unless if you're in a long trip and you have to. But I'm talking about the sneak eating.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Own it. You're doing it. Own it. Why not?
Yep.
I like that.
And even if it's something, I don't love the bad versus good. That really gets to me. It's not bad food. You're choosing to eat something that isn't protein or may not be on the plan. You're not a bad person.
Yeah.
No.
These people equate bad food with bad people. I'm bad because I ate.
Yeah.
And that is so difficult to unlearn.
That's diet culture at its worst.
Yes.
Right there.
But it's so important in our long-term successful journeys to not allow that connection between bad and eating. It's tough.
It's hard. And like, that's the part, like why I think it is important that you focus mainly on the post-op, because if you think about it though, post-op is just life and you have to deal with life and you have to figure out how are we going to navigate life with a pouch now.
Yes.
So I work with pre-ops, but I only work with pre-ops who have a date.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Then, there's skin in the game. They're not wondering about it. They're planning.
Yeah.
And I think it is important pre-op to work with somebody because like I said, we have so many different choices now. Find the shape that you like. Find the clear protein that you like, because I never found one that I
didn't find one either.
Trimino.
Trimino. I forgot.
Yeah.
Well, I meant during the time I had to do liquids.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Sorry.
So,
Termino, I do like
it.
it.
Important, like, especially I usually start like 2 weeks before surgery.
Yeah.
With people, not 6 months out. I think you're not going to learn how to deal with your pouch. You're not in the right mindset then.
Yeah. I think it's good to get all of your spots in line. So, find your bariatric vitamin. Like, we love ProCare, but we didn't find them until
February.
Yeah, last February. So we didn't know that they
existed.
Yeah, we had no idea. And now we've found a comfortable routine with not only our vitamins, but our protein, because we love devotion. And like, we're finding all of these things that work within our life.
Yeah.
And if we had that pre-op, it would have made our life a whole lot easier.
Because you're ready to go. Like, I know I was not ready to go. Like, I was just finding things as I went.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't even take really any vitamins. Like, I had gummy vitamins, which we have found is not the best for you.
No.
Or the patches. I don't believe in the patches either.
Yeah. I never tried the patches. I feel like it's not the same for me. So
it's not. But so it's important, what you were saying, is to get into all those habits. So I'm 9 years out. I have coffee every morning.
Oh,
that's how I start my day. That's how I start my mindset. I get 15 grams of protein in, and it just starts me on my way. It still feels, it's silly. My kids laugh at me because it still feels indulgent to me, taking a cup of coffee and putting in so much creamer.
Right.
It feels like a treat 9 years out. And I change up my flavors and I change up my brands, but I always start with the coffee.
Oh, I love it.
And it's funny because I drank the same protein shake I made every morning for 3 years. And people would be like, that's so ridiculous. I can't believe you do that. And I'm like, no, you know what? I liked it. Like, it wasn't a problem. And I knew I was getting 20 grams of protein no matter what every morning. Like, it just set me up for success.
Totally get it.
So like, that's the other thing I have to get out of my head is like, why do I care that this person even has a voice about like the fact I did that for that long?
Because they say it and then it like sticks in the side of your brain and like random times, like it'll just pop in the front of your brain.
It's
like,
true.
I still hear my ex-husband, like things that he would say to me. And I'm like, get out of there. Like, why are you even in my head anymore?
I know they have real estate and it's annoying.
Yes, because I don't
want a sale sign just out.
Just get them out of there.
Seriously.
Yeah, I wish that I could just like get away.
It's hard, and sometimes when you're stressed out, that's when those things trigger even more.
Right.
Yeah.
Time and practice.
I feel like mourning has a lot to do with it too. Like we had talked about that earlier in the episode of mourning the loss of our old life or the old food that we used to have. You know, I'm mourning my old life.
Yeah.
And not just, pre-op life, but my old life with my ex. And I think that's where a lot of it comes from, is that I wake up and my life is not the same. And so for me, coping is eating. And the mourning of that is really hard because you don't want to think about it, right? So you put it out of your head every time you think about it because you're like, no, like that's the old life. But we really have to honor that feeling's there. The mourning is still there. Whether it's an old house, an old relationship, or your pre-op life. Yeah. You have to honor
even
that.
The ability to self-soothe with food. You can't do that anymore. I mean, you can, but either you get sick or you're going to not honor the rest of your journey.
Right. Exactly.
It's hard to take those feelings and do something else with them and not squash it down with food.
Exactly. And I think that's where I'm at right now.
I'm just scared feeling your feelings sometimes.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So
that's why we did self-soothe with food for so long, because it's hard. You don't want to feel those feelings sometimes because it's hard and it's emotional, and it's not something that you're like, oh, today I'm going to feel my feelings. Like,
no.
It's just,
it's work and it's therapy. And if I'm a big believer in post-op therapy.
I need to go back.
It's important. You know what? Like I said, 9 years out, live it every day.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
I can still say it's the best thing I ever did.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Hands freaking down. I will never regret having my surgery.
Not at all. Like, this wouldn't have happened if we didn't do this. we wouldn't know who Helen is. We wouldn't know all, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of crazy to think like so many things had to have fallen in place for certain such like scenarios to come light. And it's, I would never have guessed I would talk to someone in New York. We've talked to people in Australia, the UK. It's phenomenal. And it's what's the one thing that unites us all is that we all took control and was like, hey, we need to stop what we're doing. This is not okay. And we got our help. Yeah. And it's completely. A huge, huge thing. And we need to talk about it more because there's more people out there that want to do this, but they're scared shitless.
And they don't know that there are so many resources now. Yeah. So
exactly.
This
community is amazing.
Yes.
It really is.
There's nothing like this community that I've ever experienced in my life. The family oriented, just everybody's for everybody. And they just cheer you on no matter where you're at. So I love it.
It's intense.
It's very special.
Yes.
It's an honor to be part of it.
Yes. Same here.
Yes.
We love it. We love being a part of this community. So
absolutely. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything that you think we might have forgotten to ask that you think is important?
Not that I could think of. I would love to work with your listeners.
Yeah.
Bariatric.nutritionist. Hit the link in bio.
Yes.
Schedule a discovery call and let me help you.
Awesome. Awesome.
We're going to put that down below.
Yep. Down below in the description box, you will find all of her information. If you are listening to this on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, wherever else, go over to our YouTube page and find this video. All of that information will be below.
Oh, yes.
And while you're on the YouTube page, click that subscribe button and that little bell so you get notified when we drop new videos. Like this one.
And everybody can actually get this earlier, like right when it drops.
Yes.
When you're a patron.
Yeah.
Well, a patron
on patreon.com/OSLP.
And pick your tier because we have a support group
that's
on there. That's $7 a month. And then you get to chat with me and Kel on Facebook Messenger all day long. And we help you out. There's lots of tips and tricks. There's lots of stories. People are asking questions and it's all day and it's fun.
And you would get to join our monthly Zoom call where we chat with all of our followers and we kind of just go over that month, and we usually pick a topic to talk about, and everybody kind of puts in their opinions, and we love it.
Right. And this month it's relationships. So
it is.
Join us for this one.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much, Helen, for being here. We're so grateful that you came on and shared your story and gave us some awesome tips.
Yes. So many.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Everybody head over to Helen's Instagram and check her out. She is amazing.
She's amazing. Sign up. And I'm sure we're going to see more from Helen.
Yes. Yeah. All right. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.